yesimu for asemu ene yedane achi edi amamo okọ DSTV ne so a channel 360 on sabekan ho na de ekoso no watumi ahwebisa so na social media handles ahodo no UTV Ghana eho nyina de ekoso yi hu na yabo achi edi amamo hu ensema ekoso de yatrasi ensema de bade di makutin ebi ne se Ghana mampani edi atweto no kredi ne pepepe yim de abroforo de be ye no de sefata bibiman no ewo se yensa eka
na Owura Kwesi Pra Junior ede atudwa se oman Ghana debia yeko IMF won chense yeko akopa besia na so hwo ye man na yentimi enyina ye na so
kani mampani abedi achi Mamudu Baumia Alaji ede ato eye MPP man Ghana man nim se ye nipa bi eka se okozongo ahodo MPP amanyuku no 2024 abato manya de nenye no kra ohwe 2020 2024 amanyuku no bon homodi pa ozungu ahodo no
na okopie mu ewo savana mantemu nso nya nte se yade bi atiatese a anantwie bebro hanan na sese omunyina ehwe omompa
odana woni kire bunu nso a manfo ho kire se ensemi asisi wo ho edebenti wo ase bi ba ne no besre se mpanifo nhwe na asomdwe ne adwobreo emra
Enewukoi Ghana Water Limited omo adwumayefo a yatwe omasensen eyo ye kire sonko ewo Black Star Squad omo ka nyina ne se nimanimu ya empanyifo enhwe no madwuma no yensan emfama wo
enwumako bi adama muno maso asen boa yense efa kasebo yi emfamre mu ye na o mase ye nto akasebo so
this way chocolate drink yesi de ewu hia ene ensohye ye was special ice ne mineral water ne drinks assault no best point savings and loans your best assurance you don't chineni fufunita benkwan omu nyina aka nyumeku nkaye bi ho ena nyumre omaso yasene ama yemu ayedu a yede kasebo no eba enyumre akenkan for eba besomo yenne abna bayi nyano mene
enim ado ye ransen mu ana ye ko Ghana mampani sesensi John Dramani Mahama odin sembi atudwa ebra na Owura Kwesi Prata oyesemufo ema Democrat Insight no ne krata bi a watro efa aketua wo se abrofo edema brifo ebra enkwasom ene ohye wode be hye ye nananom no ewo se mbo akire de man no ena mampani kire se eyampa no kre ewo se yegina na so se bibifo ne no kredi ni nkontabu papa ene abrofo no hwem na no kredi ye adwuma se edu ba bi no mbefa ye neoma bi na braso so mbo akire ebetua yeka.
Reparations must therefore go beyond financial compensation. They must restore historical memory. They must affirm spiritual dignity and drive systemic reforms of the global order. They must inspire curriculum changes in our schools, structural reforms in global trade and finance, and a reimagining of international governance. I speak here not only as the President of the Republic of Ghana, but also as the AU champion for reparations. The AU has rightly declared reparations as the theme of the decade. And I must say it was the theme for this year, 2025, January to 31st December. But when we went to Addis the last time, the decade from 2025 to 2035 has been declared by the AU as the decade of reparations. This is a call to action. We cannot continue to accept global double standards. Africa must demand fairness, equity, and justice. We must push for transforming the UN and other international institutions to reflect the true equality among nations. Kwesi's book is a decisive contribution to this global struggle. As I said, it is not an easy book. It unsettles you, it challenges, it demands, but it's also a hopeful book. It affirms that the reparation struggle is both urgent and transformative. On behalf of the people of Ghana, I salute Mr. Pratt for his scholarship, his courage, and his lifelong dedication to the Pan-African cause. The struggle for reparations is not merely about the past. It is about the future. It's about building a just world where Africa and her diaspora stand tall, not as victims of history, but architects of a new and equitable order. As we launch this vital work today, let us all recommit ourselves to this cause. Let us mobilize our youth, our women, our intellectuals and diaspora communities, and let us carry forward Nkrumah's vision and our forebears' sacrifice. Reparations are not a dream deferred, they are a demand whose time has come. And I thank you all for being part of this historic moment. May God bless Africa, may God bless Ghana. And I have the privilege to launch the book, Reparations, History, Struggle, Politics, and Law. Author Kwesi Pratt Jr.
Nasa dwumadie kro ya se na Owura Kwesi Pratt Jr. wona yesemufo panyi Emma Insight Double Krata Okasaye etremu se Oman Ghana se eye yema mpanyi dada Dr. Kwame Nkrumah esa wetwa to honom se ebedi so ebeboa ye pa na no nko ane ade ebetimi ama ye tumpon wo se hwe da bia ye kɔ IMF won nsɛm se ye kɔ akɔgyemoa nanso yentimi nyina ye naso da wo se ye ngu nkonkon ankwankɔhwɛ esapa ye mampanyi odikan etwa to honom ma ya enya ade ebekɔ ye nim kra.
Tell me which country in the world will come and put their foreign reserves in the Bank of Ghana and take loans from us and then we charge them interest on their own money. It is not possible. The part of capitalist development is not a part which is available to us. And it's important for us to realize that the only path to development available to us is the path of collective self-reliance guided by the principles of socialism as Kwame Nkrumah taught us. There is no alternative to that. As you all know, and this is not new, this is not science, this is not new, Einstein told us something. Einstein told us that if you do the same thing repeatedly and you expect a different outcome, you are fit for the asylum. So if you go to the IMF 18 times and still your economy is in this state and you want to go to the IMF, please call the psychiatrist. There's a problem here. There's a serious problem here. Look, reparation is about resetting the world. Reparation is about the redistribution of surplus value. Reparation is about reorganizing this world. Because the way this world is structured, the way this world is organized, is weighted against us. Look, for a long, long time, the United Nations did not have more than 50 members. Why? Because at the time we were constructing the United Nations, we were colonies. And colonies were not members of the UN. So they built a United Nations Security Council, and on that United Nations Security Council, 1.4 billion people of this world are not represented. They have no say. They constructed the IMF and the World Bank. We were not there. We were not at the table. So the IMF and the World Bank was constructed to protect the interests of the colonialists, to protect the interests of the slave runners and so on. It is time to reset the world, to reorganize the United Nations, to reorganize the World Trade Organization, and to reorganize and rebuild all these institutions. Because without that, they will never be free.
Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia pre asanye tu Frank Adam pre no so e de ma MPP amanyuku no nene wasi kwan so sa sentimentem constituency ahodo bi okọ na oni omo a omoye mpanifo ho akwa ebi eye asante achim sanso na amanse na ne kasa edikem no se enipa bi kasa zongo ahodo wo oman Ghana mu no 2024 ekira bi afi etwam aba etoye no MPP amanyuku na anya de no se enye no kre se wo de toto 2024 about on ho MPP ya de pa 2024
munyina motiye se skramofo zongofo omoanto aba ama Dr. Bawumia samotiye metiye me say na data yi wo he because me de ubeka nkire me asema me hia agina so o me say fa data yi bra na but sa propaganda no na emu edin papa na enenam bibia say kramofo anto aba ma Dr. Bawumia ma anto ama Dr. Bawumia but make sure data no more. The story is different. In fact, Zongos no yenya votes in 2024 as same votes are yenya in 2020. Now no presidential aspirant Bako Eko Jina Hoka say Dr. Baumia Zongos no only one polling station and Owini the whole country. Samoti or say one the whole country. What is that propaganda? Say the whole country Zongos Dr. Baumia Winnie only one polling station. Ewo efutu ho baby. Me say hey yanhwe data imu emfambra abontin. Yanhwe data no sa presidential aspirant ni Zongo no ani Zongo me Winnie wo ho. Na uba Ashanti a ubehu said many of the Zongos ye appear votes even though you're winning many constituencies, but in terms of the votes no many uba for menaha Amadia SHS me winnie ho SHS A SHS B Bekwai so Sawaba Fish Pond 1 Sawaba Fish Pond 2 Subin Amadia Primary School Amadia Primary School 2 Amadia Secondary School, so many polling stations. But the data across the whole country, shall I say, we did better in the Zongos in 2024 than in 2020. So why are propaganda ewoho? Nipa ekasa without data because omopese omoye konkonsa. Enyasa konkonsa de unhia data odi two system no na enam na ekọ enyasa but odi wo konkonsa ba me ho a me ma no agina ho me the data no ebe confront you.
Asweye hwenuane enikwa yonsem so ene United Nations for akabom amomo adan dwumadi sronko bi edi we no matoni din say Sustainable Food System Summit eba beboa se de beya oman Ghana ni so ade hunu a aban we di aba o se Feed Ghana project ne betimi aka ho ahyemu kena ama yenuane nsem no etimi afa ne ntema pa efra na oswofo woda asweye ano Owura Eric Opoku and afa UN no resident coordinator e kan sem say e wodwumadi na say.
Under the Feed Ghana program, we are also targeting women. We are targeting persons with disability. And we are also targeting the youth. And we are also targeting the smallholder farmer. The youth in the sense that Ghanaian youth have lost confidence in agriculture. Some of them, right from the onset, decided to take advantage of the fertile soil to be in farming. They expended all that they had on their farming activity. But after production, there was nobody to buy. And so they lost everything. So since then, they have decided never to be part of agriculture again. And that's why you see some of them who have traveled from the villages to the cities on our roadside selling handkerchiefs. Now what we want to do is that under the Feed Ghana program, we have noticed something special. A lot of the Ghanaian youth are participating. I've seen young, beautiful girls and boys going into agriculture. Now the fear is that if you are unable to provide the market for them, and they experience what some of us experienced some time ago, that will be a disaster going forward. And that is why for the first time in our country, this year, government has provided resources to the national buffer stock, food buffer stock, to go to the market, buy the excess produce, store them, and then release during the lean season. We have come out with a multi-sectorial approach to deal with food inflation in Ghana. The first thing we are looking at is that we are in touch with the Ministry of Roads and Highways. We are using the drip equipment procured somewhere last year for all the district assemblies to fix all the roads linking our farms to the communities. And we are doing that as a priority project.
There is a market here for a range of products. Somebody's buying those outrageously priced products, but somebody here can produce similar and better. I'm sure of that. We feel it here in Ghana in the struggles of the farmers and the rising anxiety of the families. There are global issues like the termination of the Black Sea Initiative that did cause global wheat and corn prices to spike up. And the Secretary General warned that when food prices rise, everybody pays for it. But this, he said, is especially devastating for vulnerable countries struggling to feed their people and for vulnerable communities, which is why I really appreciate what Honourable Minister said about those on the margins of society. And in Ghana, we know that persistent domestic challenges exist. As Minister said, there's a huge number of them, but I noted here that supply chain inefficiencies, also foreign exchange differences and pressures really help to keep food prices high.
Eraswa wo kwadwuma ensemu oswafo hwekwaye ensem ne nuane ensem so na abo erikopoku ere ato akuafo anim se praye hwei okaboma emu iba kwan ebunti akuafo nka omhumum se ne be ya feed Ghana no se Ghana ban echeche ne omade amakuafo a omonsa etumi akebe na wontete omu a eya na umunya okwakohwom no eya na eyetin we eye bra peasant farmers association ne hia ya no de sansem we eto omanim.
Areas a yakohwe nyina cooperative no enekuta akuafo no nyina ema akuafo no nyanne omo kasa aban betie because there are many, they are in groups. And afa akuafo no sanso mu dua de ba ko pe wo community meeting no on problems no betumi a share together. Afa be ma yetimi ye be register mo lances nti e betumi a recognize omo as entities a omo betumi akọ bank agi loan e de ayo omunyuma ama ayeye. Afa ye pese educate wo mo extension officer no kwa wakohia group wa educate wo mo omo fuo no bobo ho wa konfuom ho aboboa omo say ye pe bias ama omo a woni areas omo wo de bias na ko ho eti Ghana kuani bia de I was a member of a cooperative because when you cooperative na you be break cooperative na untimi nka ho ma enya den enye yi na zamuti oni say me the $1 million ekon of farmer cooperatives bi ya register omo nyina as say omo access ska no e de ayom ku adwuma this year for me cooperative ni wi a yenya na e bedi anim sabaya resources are cooperatives no de be adwuma no wo mo sanso be resources are Ministry of Agriculture yenya nyina no the chunk of it ya they call irrigation ye donors support ye nyina no ya realignment so policies ni nyina and focus on irrigation and critical areas na and the feed Ghana ye de adwuma no enti ye bota e pa ne say e be say afiwei enkosi ni mfie nan a NDC aban we yensa ma Ghana for say ye san be ye abato bio no na 100 hectares of land yetimi di aba irrigation mu a akuafo betimi di aduane de bia.
We have a significant task ahead. It is not enough to merely acknowledge our commitment to CADEP or the Feed Ghana program. We must act. This means prioritizing budgetary allocations, scaling up successful initiatives, and directly addressing the specific challenges faced by smallholder farmers. Let us use this program as a call to action. Let us commit to a future where our farmers are not just surviving but thriving. Let us work together to build a resilient and food-secured Ghana for generations to come.
Abusiafo ye home so na yaje aboafo nkratu edi kan abasese. mama kwa ba yebeto akase ebo no eso yetwa yensem no eso na ye call savannah mantemu na enya nte ese so kopie mu ewo hono mu ayade bi atiatese ewo hono mu a eha adwene yie eye yade a wosusu sai ne din ede anthrax na eye anantwie anasa yade atiatese ewo so a tese ekunkum wom ene within 24 hours omo kira anantwie bebro aduonum na amunum hono mu a womo ehwremo enkwa na wosusu se de ma ne koba ye ene se eye fulani fo bi omo free Burkina ena omo baye vaccination campaign bi wo honom na omo kire mu se eye anthrax spore ene CBPP vaccine ena omo de fra ye ede wo omo ano enti omo de wo omo wie ye no within 24 hours na emo ane dodo na ebu ahwe amunum honom a ebu yaya ena afen susu no mo kire mu a anche bia na be aduanan bi nsusu ye de hu se mo ana ye mre ne obuhwepe eno ano no be se aboa no ahwere ne nkwa eno nti omo ehwere ni mu se mpanyufo ebetimi aba beso ano ntem amasa yade a ate atese a ekunkuma na ntwie no betimi aso ano esansa sa anthrax ye omo ka ho asemi wo mo kire ase wo ye nipa na wo ne mo ano enya nkitahodie bia ebetimi aba wo so ene mo ani mpo na ye de san empane ne wo mo anase ye de vaccine ne wo mo no omo kire se ebinum kurampo atwensuo no kɔ baabi foforo enti no ano akwaye densenka emoa ni nyina mpo no munya wo ena nka mo kro mo baabi faako ahwɛ sɛ yade no entenetene enkɔ amanfo so anke beboa na so sei no enya anantwie na ye de nuro no ɛwɔ mo no enko a na ɛwɔ hɔ na emom no bi mu atwitwa ensuo ni bi ɛkɔ fa baabi nto mo ɛhwɛ ni mu sɛ omo betimi aso ano na empanyufo ekire mu a sɛ de aba no ano ayɛ den enti omo de kokobɔ shronko ekwa ama adehye wo eye savannah mantem honom we no eye North Gonja mensini mu se omonya hwe yie pa se wo ye mmoa na hu se aboa no odan suban bi adini adeade wo se wo kura nipa no bo ho ban ansa na aboa no wakɔ ne ho nya sa de ayade no se de etere no esan enti wo ban aboa na ebi ebetimi aba wo so omo hwe anim se omo betimi ahwe amasa ayade ya ate atese no omo etimi aso ano entema sana ede oye ne bi aba
Yakobuno is mantem no mu a eye atebubu amanten amanfo ho kire se ombesre empanifo municipality ho omohwe eye mansini nano se omohwe esansensem bi ahyase a amanfo wa amanten ene akwakwa ntokwa bi eye amano ho so o montem se empanifo anhwe anso ano a ede ohaw ebeba
wase esi ewo manfo ye wo amanten ene akuokuntam na sakura mienu ayenkura ewo atebubu amanten kropon mu ewo bono east mantam no emu aka ho bi emanana no mahemfo no manfo ho no ede aresede eto aban nanim se ne manimu ya wonhwe no mfa na no ntum se ne be ya won betimi abo nipa ne ajapade ho ban
ye ho na mahin frɛ se ohie okuara no ye bae wase regional minister ba regional minister ba no ye tenase ohima na ka kire regional minister se woma asema aba no entwetiete ne ntesa edinsem bebire beba na amanten ne akokoa ye baako ye kase ye ko anye yi ntini wodinsem na ahye nsa na mensa wonhwe so no siesi asem na asem no nkɔ o kaso wate ade ki ya wara ade ki fiara ana nsem no ekoso kase ntino mepa ewura dwoma ma kyew oma nanu mra asem no no mra mesiesi amanteni akoko amae nte sa ede nsem bebre beba because yaka kire police for mu fi regional minister won fi atebu commander won fi ne kankan no kuruma nti asem ni nyina egina ono yewura dwomama nsem o mahwem no asiesi asem no nti sa ede ewu asem baba ewu asem so de ebaba bia enye yi
enu achie no omanfo ni bi omo bokọ adu sei womo ekwafo mo omanfo ye wo ekwokun abeto ase omo so ene UTV nsem twafo twetwe nkomo omo de nsem se tudwa
chanu kure ne ye nyina ya ware ye ho enuafo entimi ntina ho ne ye ho nko nti bibisa abana ye de asumdue akwantuo ne yetu aba o manim na ye ne o ma atena se aka asumdue asem
na afanu no nyina yanya asumdie no obi akoye na edwuma Ghana ha yanya akase pa asumdie ndie mra na edi ye edwuma tie ntu anam yenko police station na yenko report ebesi na ko up and down police station TV because regional minister aba regional commander aba omu nyina aba bibia nsi that means omo yama na ti one se omu de mra se omu so nwura afia ehihie ye krampa na eche so mbefo aso nti se mra wo Ghana mu na mra ye edwuma o mayi mu a mra enye edwuma de ye hunu
village ba ko ye ni me frɛ ho fanfo me ye duru fanfo ho no ma me hwɛ sɛ abrante ba ko di moto speed ba abe cross manim adan a wase me nyina na me sɛ me nyina sɛsɛn ho ɛna me gyina nti me gyina ye prɛko pɛ me hwɛ machi no ma hu sɛ ɛdɔm di machi ye dan ɛba a mu nyina aba be gyina nti o be gyina ya ɛho ano motu ɔde sɛ me moto key na ba ko de ne sa wura mbotoma yi me phone na afei de boys no we free her pine wo ya sekan de bobɔ me twitwa me sra ho ne machi nyina papa ye titwafo him hu mi ana ɔseda bi enye na chidom hene enye ɔno a no so yo wate nti omo ye ma ɔde sɛ boys ne ye den kɔɔ ansa na mma me kwan sɛ menye den menkɔ up to now asma me kan free be ye ekɔ be ye mfan sɛ 3 weeks nie mentimi nkɔ afom nti mpanfo ti a me srɛ sɛ aban mpanfo mo so mra mu na mo mehwɛ na de ekɔ so ɛwɔ ye mansim akokoa ani enyan
yet one semino so na Ghana Water Limited edwumayefo ni bi ohonom a yatwe oma sensen omo echiremu abosome watwini a yatwe omo esensen ye na kwanya ye fa omo efa so etwe omo sensen no omo so omo nte ase enunti ene omaye ye kire stronko pa e wo Black Star Square omo efre esre abanse na daroma omeka bi ma wo omo ni omo mpanyimfo no enkasa sanso omo nimbone omo ye nam so nti a yetwe omo sensen sa abosome watwini adwuma no so no anomo ya omo nsa etimi call ma no nto omo sre sen manimu ya ye mampanyi emeka bi emma omo.
When we came for aptitude test, when we came for the interview, fast forward, we were given employment. We went through all the medical processes, all the processes that there be. Now, fast forward on the 11th of February, 2025 of this year, under the hand of the current MD, who is our MD, because we are still Ghana Water employees or staff, just that we've been on suspension. Right. So on the 11th, as I indicated, February 2025, under his hand of Honorable Adam Mutawakilu, that we should proceed on suspension, federal audit. We realize that if you are at home with your parents, you have to judge with your parents. And so we never slept on our OS. And so we called on the Labor Ministry. He told us, that is Honorable Rashid Pepu, he told us that if we were employed in November, there's no need that we should be on suspension. And so there is just an audit, which Nana Oyelita, the chief of staff, is being chaired with her. And so they will call us back to work. Fast forward, we realize that there's a lot of radio silence from Ghana Water. Just to our surprise and amazement, and to add more salt to injury, on the 22nd of this month, we cited a letter under the hand of our current MD that new professionals, we are young professionals. If you are giving employment to new professionals again to come back to work, and they should start work on the 1st of this month. Just 9 days ago, we think that some of our colleagues are on dialysis. Some of our colleagues today have to send money to one of them to come here. He's just sitting there. This is so pathetic. We can't do this to young professionals like us. On the MD, we've called on him several, but I pray that the human face that the board has, the human face that the MD has, will come to play. If new young professionals are being given their new appointment on the 22nd of just last month, that we are on suspension for 8 months. 8 good months. Some of us rented. We left all past that Ghana Water Works. We were sent there. We never said we wouldn't go. We went. And that under his hand, you could give employment to new people. We think that it is so injurious to our health. And I don't know what words to even qualify that.
The best I have for said in previous yesterday, the Asida Amayaboa for a bar, a babeto Acasiabono. Uzafa mu akwa ba ye to akase bo no so ye kofra mantem na kokobɔ akɔ amamafo a ɛte asu fra ne enkyɛn na mo be nsu na ne bi wɔ hɔ a ensu no mutu anwea edidi omdwuma ne no ɛna kokobɔ akyerɛ sɛ sadwumadi omudi ne ɛyade a na ɛha amanfo sanse bi bi na ensu tokra na etutu anwea na fi nsu na no ntino na ehiri ɛkɔ akɔfa amanfo.
These illegalities by purchasing river sand from these illegal sand winners, which is disincentive to the project. In the contract agreement, EcoH JSC is to pay 10% gross to VRA for the development of social amenities for the communities where the projects are sited. Regrettably, these illegal sand winners are doing nothing to help develop the communities they operate at. Another problem we encounter is the acquisition of land along the Volta River for the project. This we are appealing, therefore, to the district and municipal assemblies to assist us. Thank you. The acquiring of permits from regulatory bodies, except from EPA, district and municipal assemblies, are also daunting tasks. We are appealing again that VRA must be at the forefront to acquire these permits to ease the burden on us, since they are all government institutions. This project has to do more with the environmental and humanitarian problems facing the lower Volta. That is why JSC is calling on all agencies related to the project to regard it as a humanitarian one. We know this present government is zealous about this project, hence I'll appeal to government to aid JSC to accelerate the dredging to solve perennial flooding problems experienced at the lower Volta when the Akosomo and Kmon dams are spilled, since marketing of the dredged sand may not move as fast as we envisage. It is on notification that this project will help to protect our importantly giant installations like the 2 dams, the bridges, including lives and properties along the lower Volta.
Nana Ntebua pra eye Pristia hene na wodi abasobosonko akwa amayema mpanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say wode eye National Sanitation Cleanup Exercise no assign abebiem wo say ebeboa ye pa esanse nansen yade a aba ebi ne 3D cholera typhoid din nyina no kire say ya tena ya yetemu efi no adokro ye nti yade no so adoso nti sa clean up exercise ya wasan dia babiem de beboa pa ama yesiesi ye important se de be ya tena ye no ebetimi akoyi amaye
the exercise ebeboa oman bia ese de ye ho hyem aside say eboye ho ban fa ne yare na de ade so ema yanka sanso yekrom su emote ema mu so eyefe nsuo to na de ade a flood na de ade na no ekofom nti exercise yemfa enhye ho ne yenye minim say yembrem no wanko communal bakra watumra ba mama yentna ho ma yemfa communal bambra emba mbechew but who fie na who say ho kra na efu ho enda yi kra na ese wuti organize branch omo mantem wo na mo hwe na wuti ema insisi na de ade eba nti exercise ese ye sustain no na yentwan ama mampanyin ba so ye be relaunching MC bimba regional minister bimba ba yen aye ho no yemfa hye ho na yensisi ye man yen kuso na ma emu enda ho kama say ye edwuma ye na we do 1 week ye san so hwe ma ha ye ma na edwuma na ye mpanka ye nti obi a wo ye wura na hwe say ye obebi obokokotu ro na go fa mu gotabu bi ma next month ye ba ye san so embre ema ye say edwuma we you say next month ye ba na edwuma na ye den akofam kra na ye mra me obi bia wo hwe fi a wan baby no next month ye share body say oba san ye kasa che bogoso aboso huni vai for say eduro so amuso mum tiemra na Ghana baby a mum ye nyina ye so na ye man Ghana once na once e dey apomdre e dey ahodren na dey ba sesi a no hwe a say police fo e gira vantage areas ya hye ne kete say bia empa ne ho hye sa adwuma die ye mu na woni mu so say sabe wansa ne so no sabe ye mra
utomra sabe sanctions for assembly ne de be assembly no won bylaws ne ade
asoyehwe adwiriyare ensem so Ghana Mental Health Authority edin sabe tudwa se wohwe afietwem na nipa bia omoye nipa dodo apem hanson ene aduoson 1770 no emu oha ne aduasanan ehwere omonkwa ebra moye omadwen se omofa homa omofa duru na omde ahwere omo enkwa na so omogye omomkra ede afiri omonsem no afietwem no omche se afi yecha afi no mufa no enipa amayo madwen se nkomogye omonkwa ede afiri omonsem ne ye ahanan ene aduoson enum 475 ena afi yecha afi mu no mienu no omayo madwen se omogye omokra ede afiri omo ensem
se ohwe omo san omo ho afi na etwa mu na when they compare the previous one, not the 2023 to 2024, there has been 40% increase. Not just say almost say uji edubia and 9 asabeka home. 2024. Any who say ayadea adosun bebre. Name ebia na yeyi sam rani free one into the amase say nipa bebre air report say esi. And also say ebia in fact nipa bebre ankasa na esen omo ho na de etiem mu bia no yen de ne say ano ehye yen kana say e wo say ye adwuma ni bi ka ho se nipa bebre ewu awa bra ni kwansa anka omuwu e bi say when he say death by suicide is preventable e ya de a je betimi asi ho kwan enti yen bo adwuma enfansi ho kwan.
Ora adanse bona ena waye penya bedi echira wo church de Lands Commission ewo atoye tifido mantemu na wode efutuo akwa ma de hye wo honum so obesre omo adasa omo mane hi omo se so omo wa asase ombekwa akwa register ewo Lands Commission se de beya manso training nsase aye toma nipa beboro de wo honum no ano ebetimi abrase
asase ho nsɛm yɛ ade a ehia Ghana paa yie bɛsɛ hwɛ ha deɛ yɛnhyɛ da nni ha bebree saa sɛnea yɛkɔ so wɔ baabi no because ha deɛ asase ho nsɛm da din yɛ nananom ahwɛ yi ama yɛ asase ho nsɛm da din ɛnyɛ galamsey ne nneɛma a ɛsɛ asase wɔ ha deɛ a ɛyɛ asase ho nsɛm deɛ ɛyɛ but sisi no me being the deputy CEO of Lands Commission no I'm say and it's ready home bi wɔ hɔ ɛma NDC about reset agenda no because especially in Kanye Kumasi and other areas, as I say, some a program for my band. Because for reasons, no, as I say, about committee to mind, Nipa Bay 9. Now, that's a non to Pioneer, the Nema Echo was as I say, some many. In Canada, also, some your program. Because of that, and the Lands Commission at the end say a federal dictation. Dictation, naturally, say people no. To see the end, you be paperless. And in the other phone, computer, never. A bassa, as I say, some a program, say people we pray, and some that's all. Yet also be Muso. Yeah, district be a Lands Commission office. A bassa is a send if I be for phone time, and I call region, you know. I'm a beer for Hapo Register Assassin. So assassin now our home records as I how only so every free. And so this is the first year and also Severi also already have that's about 3-4 years in the Lands Commission office.
Abusiafo ha ene brebe makwan ama ye de kasebo ni nyina esie ye di pepsodent ho adanse e de akyerwe sanse so wo serie betimi ayefe na wanuma ho ne die bekoyi a eye pepsodent nko an e drawd twusi a ebetimi aboa ma niema akoyi amawo egumu ahodo ye wo herbal charcoal triple protection cavity fighter ho nye na mesre wa asoto na eben wo no kɔ na kɔ pebise de be ya no pa ne anwumre nyina obetimi edi atwusen ama wo serie no ayefe na Pelix African Styles medinase ekwa ama no na anwumre opa matade yi ede hye me owo SCC wager oben DVL mistre opa ma ne mema ne nyina ne nsa no efefre antipel ewo 0243 961384 0243 961384 ena she salon so wager wone West House Mall any D and Sheni mo no so bomiti simple fe edemame number no eye 0558611842 0558611842 enwumre yen ya be som mo eye me abena bayi nyano mene
enim adu
yadam ase ama mo nyina mo enventi
Direct 1. Select one number from 1 to 90 as your Direct 1 number. You win 40 times your stake amount, only if your selected number is the same number that appears first in the draw. Thank you for your attention. And remember, you can stake your favorite NLA 590 lottery on your phone or online right now. All wins are paid same day, in full, and direct to your Momo.
Please dial 030-824-9477.
For any assistance, 590 mobile.